Welcome to Ric Drasin Live. I am indeed Ric Drasin, the one, the only, often imitated and never duplicated, brother. What you see is what you get, but what you don't see is better yet. How do you like that?
That was awesome. Wow.
I have with me today a very good friend of mine, a very smart man, a man that I look up to and respect immensely, who I met this past year, I guess, in the men's dressing room at the Gold's Gym. As I was showering, he dried my back for me, which was very nice. By the way, thank you so much. There's always a wet spot back there somehow.
I still have the towel.
I got some chafing. But Victor Palomera, I'm so glad that you're here. You have a story to tell.
I do.
And it's a good story.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate that you're being here. Now that we got that over, can we have the strawberries, please? No. So let's talk a little bit about your inspiration. You got it. We met at the gym, obviously. Yeah. So you got into training for what reason? Something drove you there?
The reason, well, Victor Palomera, for those of you that don't know me, yeah. Hi.
I said Victor Palomera.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I introduced you already.
Oh, sorry. I'm new at this.
Okay.
Now, but you know how I got into working out was, you know, I was in a tough place in my life. 18 years old, very depressed, and got kicked out of my house and was getting into a lot of trouble, and was walking down Laurel Canyon and saw Gold's Gym and walked in there, had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And just started working out. You know, was looking at, you know, as a kid growing up, looking at comic books and all this stuff, and just looking at the muscle fitness, and probably I saw you in a couple of these magazines.
Most likely you did. I used to be Ric Drasin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, and the thing that I love about you is you're very humble about it.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
And so walked in there, 18 years old, and, you know, fast forward today, 37, you know, still building great relationships in there, and still, you know, working out. And, you know, when I first met you was just, you have this infectious personality, and really appreciated your conversation.
Well, thank you.
And I think that's what the gym provides is, you know, not only that health and fitness, but, you know, those relationships that, you know, can last a lifetime. So.
Well, you're never alone in the gym.
Yeah.
You always make contact and meet people. And Ian and I just went to San Diego. We worked at the hotel gym. There was a few people. There was a younger guy. And I talked to him right away, and he watched some of the things I was doing. He said, gee, obviously you know what you're talking about. But it brings you together. Mm-hmm. And people look to be together. They want knowledge. I see people don't know what they're doing. I'll show them what to do without pushing myself on them. I don't want to interrupt them and say, I know more than you do. But I do know more than they do, because I've done a lot of it. But it does bring people closer together, and you can go anywhere in the world, anywhere in the United States, anywhere around city to city, and go into a gym and make a friend.
Right.
It just works that way.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was at. You know, I was in a tough place in my life where I was just very depressed, and was kind of in a loner stage. And my grandma, one of the, you know, things that I had to do was go to school and stay out of trouble,
right,
and get healthy.
Sure.
I was into a lot of extracurricular stuff that I shouldn't have been in, and, you know, staying at Gold's and meeting people like you at the time is really what saved me.
It's
and
a better
now
life.
I've just taken it to a whole nother level now.
It's a better life physically and mentally and spiritually, and then you also clean up your eating habits, and you eat better so you feel better, right?
Right.
It's all part of the thing. So it's helped you quite a bit.
Yes, you know, I'm a school teacher. I've been teaching for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
8 of those years I was a kindergarten teacher, so if any of my students are out there, hi, Mr. P says
so
hello.
You must have seen Kindergarten Cop with Arnold.
I did like 72 times.
Yeah, I know, it's so good. I'm a cop. I'm a cop.
Get down.
Get down, I'm a cop.
So, you know, taught kindergarten for 8 years. After that, high school. Been teaching high school the last 6. And now I'm a youth empowerment speaker and teen belief activist.
Let's talk about that, because I'm very interested in that. You do a lot of motivational speaking for kids.
Yes.
Which I would like to do as well.
Okay.
With you.
All right.
At some
Let's
event.
do it.
Let's do it. You know, as long as they have food there for me, I'm good to go.
Yes, we'll have those little Crustable peanut butter jelly sandwiches for you.
I just bought peanut butter pretzels today. Those are really good. Tell me how you got into doing that. You just don't walk in the door and say, hey, I'm here to talk to you. But, you know, you obviously did.
You know, one thing that really helped me as a school teacher was having good mentors and good coaches and good teachers. And I came across some YouTube videos one day and was very inspired by, you know, the Les Browns of the world and the Jeff Olsons of the world, and, you know, people on stage just out there to empower.
Right.
And just saw the shift of the audience, just like what you guys do every week, which I truly admire. And I said, you know what, I want to do that, but I want to do it for the people that I know, which are kids and which are young adults, because that's, you know, that was the toughest time of my life. So I just went and donated some time in the community and spoke at a couple youth centers. And the next thing you know, a couple years later, I was invited to speak at the Anaheim Convention Center. And I've been traveling the nation here the last, 14 months and helping, different foundations to kind of get more kids to read, more kids to lead, and more kids to believe.
Has it helped? Do you get a good response off them? They come up to you and talk to you and tell you how much they enjoy this?
You know what? It's one of those things, and I tell my friends every day is I live a very fulfilled life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not driven by money. I'm driven by fulfillment and empowerment. And to have, a lot of these emails from these parents and a lot of the kids pull me to the side and say, hey, Palomares, I never would read books like this, but because of you, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich. I'm reading The Alchemist.
Right.
And to, I know for me, we're big dudes, and it's not like we're parading around the gym saying, hey, I'm reading books now, guys. It's like, oh, give me a break,
Yeah,
So,
sure.
I want to add that enthuse to reading and really, personal development, and I think it's needed.
I did this with training kids for wrestling because I have the ring in my backyard, and I was training people to become pro wrestlers. And I got a lot of kids that called me that wanted to do it, 11, 12 years old, 10 years old. I even had an 8-year-old. And so I had about, at one time, 18 of them.
Wow.
And they would come over on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I'd get them in the ring, and I'd train them how to do stuff. And wrestling to me wasn't about, I used to tell them, this is not about being tough and beating people up. This is about stage presence and about getting along with your partner, working together hand in hand, working loose, and making friends out of this whole thing. And gave them mic skills, learn to talk on a mic and how to project their image and this and that. And I saw a huge improvement in their personalities. And the parents would come and say, my kid's so much different at home. He's so nice now, and at school he's excelling and he's talking in front of the class. So it was a good thing. Plus they were learning skills in the ring, mind, body skills, how to put them together. So I think when you work with kids, it's really a good thing to do because they're like little flowers that you water, and they just grow and become these big flowery plants that grow into something really magnificent.
No, you have that gift, and that's one of the things that I really admire about you is you have that infectious love.
Yeah.
And the number one fear in life is to public speak.
Yeah.
And I think it's fascinating because people do not want to get their voice out, and I think through health, through beauty, through working out, we all want to look good, we all want to feel good,
Sure.
we all want to be acknowledged. You can do it at the gym, you can do it in the classroom.
That's right.
And for me to be on stage and just treat people, as if they're not alone, I needed that. I always wanted to be believed. I never had a father. My father passed away when I was in elementary school, and he's a gang member. He didn't do things the right way.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful to be raised by a single mom and a grandma.
I had to do the same thing. My father passed away when I was 18.
Wow.
He wasn't a gang member, but he was a member of Chamber of Commerce, which was which was a gang in the city. But I was also raised by my mom and my grandmother and my sister.
They're a very powerful gang.
They ran the city. I wanted to say my dad ran the city. He was head of the Chamber of Commerce,
The goody mafia.
and the men's club, and the Elks and the Masons. So I mean, he belonged to a lot of clubs, wore a lot of different hats, and they were all rivals, but they all kind of got along. So I had to take the initiative on my own at 18 to go ahead and do what I wanted to do without any guidance.
Yeah.
And I chose the high road. I didn't choose the other road with the drugs and the alcohol and this. I just wanted to feel good, so I trained and ate and did what I had to do. Brought my friends in, passed my knowledge on to them, and any other kids that were at the gym or the local YMCA. I had a group of kids working out there, so I mentored them as well.
Wow.
And I think it makes you a bigger person because you can share. And then you begin to reevaluate what you are, and it reinstates in your mind that you're pretty good at what you're doing. So it's a good thing to do.
And I think, I've been teaching, 15 years, and I just think today we teach these kids to pass the test.
Yeah.
And we're focused too much on grammar, not greatness.
Right.
And for me, I just tell my students every day, just get a little bit better. Focus on progress, not perfection. And,
Sure.
and that's why on my car, my license plate says slide edge. Every day, just get a little bit better. Because there's too many people that put so much pressure on themselves. It's like bodybuilding. They go to the gym, they think they're going to lose 40 pounds in one day.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they'll go to the extreme to take things, to do certain things with their body.
Yeah.
And so for kids, I want them to know every day, just get a little bit better. There was a journey for you to have a show and have all these things. It just didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And I just think there needs to be more advocacy for that.
I lost 100 pounds in over a period of a year.
Wow.
I got rid of my ex-wife. So I mean that was a lot.
If you're
lighter.
watching,
that was a lot lighter.
man,
load.
then I lost 110 in 2009.
If I add them all up, I'd be tons. It'd be tons of it. So how about what got you into the anti-bullying?
I was a mama's boy
Yeah.
in junior.
Victor, I still am.
Oh, yeah,
And
me
I've got another mama sitting right there who mothers me, and she's very good at it.
You know, I was bullied a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I was a skinny kid in high school and junior high, and you know, people would call me lollipops. You know, skinny body, big head.
Yeah.
So I'm just a big lollipop now.
Yeah.
And you know, going to school, you know, 160,000 kids a day get bullied.
Yeah.
You know, every 26 seconds a kid drops out of school, and it's because of the lack of self-esteem.
Sure.
And so to me, you know, the whole anti-bullying it's just empowering these kids and letting them know that they're not alone, that they have a voice,
Right.
they have value. And if you create that vision for them, they're going to want to accomplish that victory. And so, you know, one of my mentors told me, you know, the books you read, you know, will help you find the people to lead you. You know, you start reading these things, I start distinguishing, like, who are the people that I want to have in my life? Mm-hmm. You know, like, I love you. I love you. You know, it's like
Wait till Saturday night.
Right. You know, it's just you start reading these things. I mean, a book like Think and Grow Rich, you know, it took
Right.
Napoleon Hill 20 years to interview the 500 most successful people to find out the 13 things that they have in common. And, you know, you can get this book for $8.
Sure, it's worth it.
You know, imagine reading this book, you know, go to the gym, you know, the next 90 days just focus on getting 1% better, the transformation that can do to your life, just like you helping these kids in the ring.
Right.
Everybody wants to be on stage and do all these things, but I'm sure you break it down into chunks and say, look, first you got to do this, then you got to do this, and then you'll get this, right?
Well, the thing with bullying, the people who bully are the most insecure people in the world.
Right.
They want to be powerful. And you know, I wrestled 46 years. Fighting's not a big deal to me, but I would walk away before I get into a fight. Because first of all, they're going to get hurt and you're going to get hurt. No matter who wins, you still get hurt. And someone's going to go to jail. It's much easier to say, you know what, forget it, walk away and go home and relax and be yourself. And just get away from it. But if you can speak, you know, directly to somebody and know how to vent yourself, and maybe you can bring this guy in as a friend. Mm-hmm. You know, the bullying has to stop. It's just not a good place at all.
Yeah, you know, the awareness to me, you know, when you asked how I really got into speaking, I taught a class 3 years ago. And right when I walked into the class, this kid grabbed all my papers, threw them off there, and said, you know, he used some very creative language.
Sure.
I go, dude, just chill, man. It's not a big deal. He goes, no. And he just kept going on this tangent of just yelling, right? I go, hey, dude, let's go talk outside. I go, man, what are you doing, man? I just met you. I'm sure you're a good dude. Like, what's going on? He goes, man, F you. You're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I go, bro, I used to be there. I said, do you think I cut myself here because I didn't know how to do my nails? It's like, I grew up in the streets, man. What's going on? And what happened was he had a court date, and his family was in Mexico. He had no one there to help him. He felt alone, and he said, well, what's the point of me even going on anymore? You're just like everybody else. And that really gave me the awareness, like, look, man, I've been there. Like, sharing with these kids that you've been in those dark moments.
Sure.
I think too much it's a teacher, like, sit down, do this, where's your homework, rather than, hey, why didn't you do your homework? Mm-hmm. Did you eat last night? Are you having a good day?
Exactly.
You know, I think so. It's really having a checkup from the neck up, you know, with these kids.
Sounds good to me.
So
let's move on. I'm getting a notice here, 2 weeks notice. I want to know though, because you did a complete different turn into healthcare and skincare.
Yes.
And what led you into that?
I spoke at an event about a year ago.
Yeah.
With a company by the name of Nerium International,
Mm-hmm.
and so they do a lot of community events. They're the #1 corporate donor for Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. They help out Success for Teens Foundation, and so I really saw the heartbeat of the company. They're a skincare company. They're an anti-aging company.
I use it.
You look good.
I feel good. Look at me.
And so I never used anything.
I mean, look at me. Look at that camera.
Look at him. Look at him.
That camera.
Look at him.
Look at this skin. It's baby skin. This skin, at my age, at 37, looks like I'm 10.
Wow.
I know, it's amazing.
I was going for 9.5, but for me, I never was much of a skincare guy. I used the product.
Yeah.
You know, a friend of mine gave it to me. It started getting rid of a lot of my dark spots from years of playing baseball.
It works.
And for 37 years old, I don't think I look too bad.
No, almost as good as me.
Yeah, almost. But and that's really where what it turned into. And then as an entrepreneur, finding out that it's a $100 billion industry.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to look good, feel good, and the product works. And then I joined the business. I endorsed the product. But one of the #1 things is just being a community liaison of something they call the Ripple, promoting happiness, promoting empowerment, And that's and we were talking about it a few days ago. You know, beauty's important. That
Sure.
inner beauty to the outer beauty.
Well, that's exactly. Inner beauty, and then you have the outer beauty, you have the muscle, and we all work out to look good. Then you have the skin that covers it, which is the biggest organ in the body, and you want your skin to look good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do whatever I can to make my skin look good. I do this skincare that you gave me. I use
Okay.
hyaluronic acid and vitamin C in the morning, and I use this one at night.
Wow.
And my skin's really improved because of it. But I'm very consistent. You have to be very consistent. You just don't do it and say, okay, I gave it a week. It takes weeks and months, and then once it gets going, it begins to work.
Well, I actually have a gift for you.
I accept all gifts.
I gave you and this is our $1 million case here, guys.
This is money in the bank, brother.
Well, I gave you the night cream, but here's
Yeah.
the actual day cream.
Oh, wow.
So now this is a
Look at that.
moisturizer that you can have during the day.
Cool. Thank you.
So there you go.
I heard a Me Too over there.
And I'll get you one too. So
All right.
that's the day cream.
All right. I appreciate this so much. So we have to move on, actually, as I can see. I have a tip of the week. What would your tip of the week be for people today to be better people?
To be better people.
And it's maybe to change their lifestyle mentally and physically, be a healthier lifestyle. What would you say if you're going to walk out the door and tell somebody you want to improve your life? What are you going to do?
Number one thing, you're not alone. I don't know where you're at in your life right now in regards to your circumstances, your health, your wealth, your family relationships, but understand that we've all had a journey. One day those wounds will become wisdom, but it starts today making that decision that you're worth more. And so for me, read, lead, dream, and believe. And if you do those four things, you'll also achieve. And so surround yourself with amazing people. You know, and just number one thing is love you. You know, you can't love somebody else until you start loving yourself. So take charge.
I totally agree with you. I will say that one thing after this. One person said to my parents when I was in school, he certainly has a mind of his own. And my dad said, well, whose mind would you like him to have? Right?
I love that.
Yeah, so you use your own mind. You love yourself. If you love yourself, you love others. And I love me. I love me. Why wouldn't I? Look at me.
I love you too.
If I can't love me, who else is going to? Oh, look at that. There's a good hug. Thank you so much for being here, Victor.
Thank you. I
and
appreciate
thank all of you
you
for watching Ric Drasin Live. It's very important that you listen to these shows because there's a lot of good wisdom and knowledge here. And I love doing it. I love having people like Victor on here as well. Stay tuned next week at 12:30 for Ric Drasin Live here on emPOWERme.tv. And stay tuned now for news and weather coming up next, and local traffic coming up. Hi, I'm Ric Drasin. For tips on health and nutrition and fitness and bodybuilding and wrestling and all the stuff you want to know, subscribe to me on emPOWERme.tv. I'm on every Friday at 12:30 p.m. I'm looking forward to meeting you. And stay healthy.